Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I'm Jason, as always, my co-host, the voice of MMA in Utah, Mr. Zack Partridge. What up, dog?
What up, Holmes?
We just had a freaking awesome fighter spotlight interview with Kevin Allred. For those of you that don't know, Kevin Allred is at every steel fist fight, wrapping hands, cornering guys all over the place. The Swiss Army knife.
You know, he might be the most interesting man in MMA in Utah. Like, he's the Dos Equis guy of.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He's the most interesting guy in MMA in Utah.
He's got stories for days. Like, I mean, the guy's backstage wrapping guys' hands that have never fought before. He's wrapping Tony Lopez's hands, who's got 100 freaking fights. Like, freaking pretty crazy, man. That was awesome. That was a really good podcast. I mean, usually we keep those, 10, 15 minutes most? That one went over 30 minutes. And that one went over 30 minutes.
Yeah, I was just like, I just kept I had question after question for him. It was just, it's so interesting in the dynamic. And I'm really, really happy to hear that this isn't just a one-off for him, that he's planning on, getting back in there a few times. Like, not like, I don't think he's like, it didn't sound like he's like trying to like run it hot and like start fighting like 3 or 4 times a year, but just get in there again.
I thought it was pretty awesome that he said, because he didn't want to just go in there and have his teammates helping him. He wanted to be able to continue to help them even after he's done with his fights. He wants to be able to go in there and help them train for their fights.
But it's cool. But for me, it's like, I almost like expect that from a veteran like him, because he doesn't owe anybody anything, but he's been around long enough to know that, and he's done so much for so many people. I don't think anybody would be mad at him or whatever, but he's been around long enough to understand the respect part of it, that, that's what you do. Like, there are guys that one hit that only show up when they're training, when they have a fight, but they're never there to help anybody else. And guess what? Those of us that are there, just whether we have a fight or not, like, we recognize that and we see it. And there's the gym family, and then there's your like the inner circle, right? Like, I love everybody at one hit. I don't have a problem with anybody at one hit, but like, there's people that I know that, and this isn't like, this is not in any way, shape, or form. I'm not thinking of anybody. I'm not trying to call anybody out, whatever. Like, it's good. But like, I know who will be there no matter what to help me if I need help.
Yeah.
And because they're there for me. And that's the type of guy you want to be. And that's something that I've had to learn in my very short time in this. But Kevin's a vet. He's been around a long time. He understands, and he has the respect. And that's why I think he's so likable. Like, almost everybody likes Kevin, is because, dude, he just gets it.
Yep.
He just gets it.
Yeah, it was a very, very fun podcast. I got to go up to Naga this week up in Layton.
Mason's one of those guys.
Mason's one of those guys.
Hands down.
I got to go watch the grappling tournament this weekend up in Layton, the Naga tournament. It was awesome. Pretty cool experience.
So when are you competing?
Probably not. You won't. It's not out of the question. Let's just put it that way.
Listen. All right. I haven't said this. I'm saying this with all the love and respect to one of my best friends and my brother. I know you won't fight, but if you don't compete in a grappling competition, I'm going to hurt
not out of the question. Let me just get a little bit more time under my belt.
It's not just not out of the question. You're going to do it.
I'll probably end up doing it. You're probably right. You're probably right on that one. My wife.
I understand. Like, I'll tease you, whatever. I understand the not actually fighting, and I get that. But there's no reason for you to not experience a grappling competition.
Oh, I could see that. I could see that happening in the next 6 months to a year. Get a little bit more time under my belt, and it was fun watching.
Together. We'll pick one and we'll do one together.
Dude, my wife wants to do one.
I know. Like, we'll do it. Let's do it.
She's all in, man. It was a great experience. Sierra MMA had a couple new guys competing, gals and guys competing that had never done it before. So it was awesome watching them. Cody has this kid that trains with him. This kid's probably 11, 12 years old. And he walks up to me. I've never met this kid before in my life. And he looks me dead in the eyes and says, "My coach is Cody Bunderson." And I'm like, have I met this kid before? So I turned to him and I said, you tell Cody my name is Pedro and I'm going to leg lock him, because Pedro was standing in front of me. And he like looks at me and he looks at Pedro. I said, just go tell Cody that Pedro's going to leg lock him. Because we all know I'm not going to leg lock him.
Yeah, we know that. We know that.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
No.
Hey, great weekend of fights. If you listen to our podcast on Friday, you would have made some money.
So
if you're a betting man.
So I would like to help people. I have been tracking my official bets, my official stats for the year of 2022.
Yeah.
And it's been really good. Not promising anybody
good.
to get rich. Not promising anybody anything. But I think it's time that me and you start helping some people. 1, it's enjoyable. 2, teach them how to do it responsibly, right?
True.
We're not betting with money like that we can't like. We're not doing anything that we can't afford. It's
monster money. It's monster money.
Right? We're just I'm not telling people I'm going to get their house paid off. But it is an open invitation. If anybody would like to learn the ways, just message me or message Jason.
What was your record this weekend?
6-2.
6-2 the last weekend too, right?
4-2. I looked it up.
4-2. And then, but this weekend there were some underdogs. We had a really big underdog in one fight.
Bobby King, cash. Deanna Bennett, cash. Jim Miller, cash.
We called all of those on the podcast on Friday. We weren't just, I mean, obviously Deanna, Bobby have roots here in Utah. We love those guys.
No.
We legit thought both of them had.
I broke down why I thought Bobby was going to win.
Yes.
Right. And it all stemmed from that. I said he's a better striker and he has phenomenal jiu-jitsu defense. And that guy is a jiu-jitsu specialist. So you shut down his jiu-jitsu, he's screwed. And that's exactly that happened.
What happened.
It's exactly what happened. Now, I mean, was it a risk? Sure, it was a risk. But so there's two folds when you talk about picking local fighters.
Yeah.
1, you could be biased, which I feel like me and you, we let sometimes, but we do pretty good about checking our bias and stuff with it too, right?
Yep.
But 2, sometimes it means you have the inside scoop. How many people watched Bobby King and Samson fight at LFA at the Maverick Center?
Great.
We did. And we all know how good Samson is. And I'm sitting there going, if Samson couldn't catch him, and I watched Bobby do all the right things, and that was a couple of years ago, so I'm only assuming he's gotten better.
Yep.
And so I'm like, I felt very confident with that.
Very confident. We felt confident in Deanna Bennett's fight too.
So
that was a coin flip, but still.
Well, but I felt confident. I thought Deanna was the better fighter and should have been it because, stylistically, that was a bad fight for Justine Kish.
Very bad fight.
Deanna's more experienced, better wrestler, better grappler, and Justine is known for not having a strong grappling background. Like, obviously, Deanna was going to be able to control her.
Deanna looked phenomenal on her feet too. I've noticed she made a change for this camp. She hired a dietitian for her fight camp.
And made weight.
No issues. She's had a little bit of problems with that in the past. So that was awesome to see her. She looked phenomenal. She looked phenomenal on her feet. She looked phenomenal with her takedowns, with her ground. Like, she was on point.
Yep. So
did you watch Bobby's fight?
Yeah.
So you saw in between the rounds where the doctor came in and yeah. So they let it drag on for minutes. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, but then and then the Jim Miller thing again too. It's like, dude making his UFC debut against Jim Miller. Good luck. Yeah. Good luck.
That was a great fight though. He actually Moda actually caught Jim pretty clean with a nice little hook in the first round and kind of buckled a little bit.
Yeah, but dude, it's Jim Miller. Like, he's gonna keep going.
I was listening to the commentary because I didn't get to watch that fight till just before we got on air. Dominic Cruz is like, Jim Miller keeps hitting him with that right hook, and literally 30 seconds later, boop, boom. I'm like, oh.
And see, some people crap on Dom. He's right more than he's wrong.
I love Dom's commentary. I love his commentary. I love the way he breaks down I like it.
So that one, Jim Miller. Oh, and we easily hit a 3-team parlay. Like, didn't even have to sweat it. Who was the first leg of that?
I need to go look. I'm going to pull it up.
I can't remember who the first, but then it was Parker Porter and then Kyle Dawkins. Then that was just cake.
Dawkins looked really good too.
He's a problem. That dude's a problem. I like Dawkins a lot. Jamil Hill, he's a problem.
Jamil Hill's a problem too. The guy's got some dynamite in his hands.
We've never really seen Jamil Hill or Johnny Walker get slept like that. So I'm sitting there going like, dude, if I'm Hill, I'm asking for Thiago Santos.
What about all the casuals saying that the fight was rigged, that nobody falls like that? I'm like, what? He got rocked. He was out.
I never saw that. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of people on Twitter saying that it was fixed and he didn't really get knocked out. I'm like, did you see that big cut over his eye? Like, that wasn't fake.
Dude. I'm sorry. This isn't boxing.
Yeah.
This isn't Hollywood. In that UFC cage, you don't have time to think about faking something.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It was, yeah. Did you watch Storley and Gracie, the main event for Bellator?
I haven't. You said it was great. I got to go back and watch it. Me and Hunter were watching the 3-point contest.
Oh, that's right. I ended up, I was watching, I watched Chad Mendez and I watched Mike Perry.
Oh my gosh.
Mendez is terrifying, dude.
Okay. And
he's on all the gas.
Okay.
All the gas.
But I would like to point something else out. Okay. Mendez left because he felt like he was done because he got beat by Volkanovski. You know, fast forward a couple years. Now we know Volkanovski's potentially going to go down as a top 3 featherweight of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, he beat Max twice.
Yeah.
1.5, whatever. But the record books will say twice, you know. Dude, I wonder. So Mendez still has 3 fights left on his UFC contract.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Graciously allowed him to fight bare knuckle boxing. If he goes and wins a couple bare knuckle boxing fights, Dana could go, "Hey Chad, you're done. Come back home." What if Chad builds a whole hype train? This is so unique, but remember, I'm sure Dana is so sick of all these fighters building their brand in the UFC and then leaving and capitalizing somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
What if Dana goes, cool, you know what? Mendez has kind of lost his steam, right? He peaked when he lost to Conor. That was kind of the peak of his career, right? What if Mendez regains all of his steam and gets a second uptick in his career, and Dana goes, "Hey, come on back," and Chad goes, "I don't know." He goes, "No. We're gonna pay you. We're gonna pay you really well because you're a household name now from bare knuckle boxing. We're gonna pay you, and we're gonna let you and Michael Chandler fight at 155. Oh my gosh! You know what I mean?
No USADA testing.
He gets the Brock Lesnar treatment.
He gets the Brock Lesnar treatment.
Yeah. Tell me you don't want to see Chad Mendez versus Michael Chandler right now.
I would pay all the money for that.
Like
he was terrifying, dude. I mean,
he's so fast.
He was throwing those hooks.
I think he's one of those guys that was depleting himself too much at 145, and he might be better off being a 155er all along.
Yeah. Him and Michael Chandler would be really good. That would be a really fun fight. I don't know if he's you probably didn't listen to the post-fight interview, but he kind of hinted that he might be done. He's like, I need to take some time. I've been training because I guess for the last year he's been training for this bare knuckle fight. So he said he needed to take a little bit of time and maybe step back a little bit, spend some time with the family.
Well, he's got to go hunt.
And he goes, and he's got to go hunting too. Anyways, that was good. Mike Perry, you probably didn't see Mike Perry's fight either with Julian Lane.
Yeah, that fight was bonkers.
Dude, another round, Lane might have been able to take him out. He started to come on in that 4th and 5th round a little bit.
I think that Mike Perry was made for bare knuckle boxing.
He is just nuts.
Here's the other thing. He's got skill. He's not just a brawler.
No. Mike Perry, that was fun. That was a fun. And then then after that, you turn over and watch Storley and Gracie. You get four-time division All-American college wrestler and against a legend in the Gracie Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I don't think it went to the ground one time. If it did, it wasn't there very long.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
Yeah.
Who won?
Gracie. Storley won.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He his stand-up, Gracie's a little slow. Like he had a nice jab because he's so long, but Storley, he had a perfect combination. He would stand there and he'd punch to the body and then come right up top with the left. Straight to the body, straight right to the body, and then right up top with the left. He hit him 100 times, at least. Even Shree was like, is he not going to like pick up his right hand? Because he just kept getting hitting with the left. Even Shree noticed it.
I was about to say, I love how you always preface it with like, even Shree. Like,
even
if she picks up on it, why is it everybody else?
Well, because she doesn't pay attention. She doesn't even pay attention half the time. I better watch my mouth because she's been going to jiu-jitsu 5 days a week and she probably can tap me out now.
You know what?
What?
Me and you aren't going to have a grappling match at Fierce one day. It's going to be you and Shree.
She'll tap me out, dude. She's getting good. She just texted me and said she got invited to the comp class tonight.
Oh, when's your invite to the comp class, Jason?
Whenever I decide I commit to it, I guess.
I love it. Good for her, man. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it really is awesome.
I'm really happy for her. It's cool.
Should we go through these picks from UFC?
Sure.
Mario Batista and Jay Perrin. Batista wins a unanimous decision. I actually did not watch that fight.
It was a good fight. Perrin's tough.
I think we both were on
Batista
on that one. Yeah. UFC, the experience. Same thing with the next fight with Jonathan Pierce and Christian Rodriguez.
Christian Rodriguez was better than I thought he was going to be, though. He gave Pierce a fight. He gave Pierce a fight.
Chad Anheliger against Jesse Strader. Anheliger wins with the counter left ground and pound TKO.
Yep.
So we're 3 for 3. Then we take an L on Gloria DePaula and Diana Belbita. Gloria's just a little bit better.
She was just a little bit better. I mean, 29-28. You know, when I see somebody win 29-28, you know what that tells me? Yeah. They were better that night. They fought 10 times. They could go 5-5 easy.
It was competitive. I felt Gloria won the fight.
Here's the thing. Like Gloria DePaula, she trains out of the same camp as Charles Oliveira. So, you know, she has really good coaches, really good training partners, really good team around her. She was a little bit more comfortable just in bad situations. Like, she was a little bit more comfortable in the fire.
Yep. Yep. Next up, we had Chaz Skelly and Mark Stragal. I think we were both on Chaz Skelly on this one. He got the.
He would pick Stragal, actually, like the underdog. We thought it was close.
Oh, I did. I think I picked Stragal on the underdog. You're right. I did. Yeah. Next up, we had Stephanie Egger and Jessica Rose Clark. Jessica had no answer for the judo. She got judo tossed and armbarred in the first round.
You know, we whiffed on that one. We whiffed bad. We whiffed bad on that one. It's okay. That wasn't one of my official picks.
It happens.
It wasn't one of my official picks.
It happens. David Onami and Gabriel Benitez, those guys were throwing down in the first round.
By the way, Pierce was the first leg of the parlay. Pierce was.
Oh, yeah, Pierce.
But Onami, that was my pick of the night. And, dude, he even got rocked.
Oh, he almost got finished. Benitez was tagging him. That was
I think he's a problem. I really do.
That's a big win, man. You get a guy he's 9-1 now, and he just beats a guy that's 22-10. He beat a guy that's got a ton of experience.
You know what I'm at? You know what I'm really mad at?
What?
I didn't even realize James Krause was in his corner. If I would have known that, I would have doubled my bet on him.
There you go.
I would have doubled down.
Quinn, Buckley, and Abdul, Razak, Hassan. Split decision on that one. I actually did not watch that fight.
Well, remember how we went back and forth? Like you went, I think you picked Hassan and I went Buckley and then Hassan, and like we went back and forth. I don't even remember which one I officially picked, but a split decision. I think we were nailed on it. That was a really, really close fight. It was really close. And it was good. And then he had the Detroit dork on in his corner. I cannot believe that. You know what? I will never cheer for Joaquin Buckley. One, because James Krause doesn't like him, and two, because he had that guy in his corner. I feel like kind of making a mockery of MMA.
Yeah, you know, if James Krause doesn't like you, you did something wrong.
Yeah.
Next up, we just talked about the Jim Miller fight against Nicholas Moda. We were both on all over Jim Miller on that one. Too much experience.
I love Jim Miller. I think it's great.
He's
him,
so
Clay
freaking
Guida,
awesome.
Those guys.
So freaking awesome.
It's not like, dude, Orlovsky. It's not like Diego Sanchez where it's like, yeah, it's still fun to have these guys around, but like I kind of wish they would retire. He's still winning.
He's still winning and looking good doing it.
He's still winning and he looks good. Like
he's on a two fight win streak
legend. Now. Tied Donald Cerrone for most wins in the UFC octagon.
I love it.
23.
I love it.
Legend.
A10 Miller. Legend. Next up, we had Parker Porter and Alan Baddau. I don't really care about that. We picked Parker Porter.
Sucks.
Yeah.
I say that with all the respect in the world, knowing he can knock me out. I'm just an amateur fighter. It's better than me, and I get that. But there are guys. Tony Lopez would beat that Baddau guy. I fully believe that.
Yeah.
I 1,000% believe that. The guy that we just watched main event Steel Fist could beat that guy in that UFC roster.
I believe
that's just props to Tony Lopez, but that guy does not belong in the UFC. I'm sorry.
No. Props to Jamie Pickett for stepping up on short notice, but Kyle Dawkins is a beast, man.
Gets Darce choked with 1 second left in the round. Just hang out.
Do you think he knew? He couldn't have known.
I think he knew. Dude, Darces are weird, right? So if anybody doesn't know, so let me break down a little bit of this. And if there's somebody that's more educated than me on this and I'm wrong, sorry, but as I understand it, and I'm pretty sure I'm right on this, a couple ways to choke somebody, right?
Yeah.
You have your two carotid arteries right here. You cut off the blood flow from your carotid arteries. When you have a good solid blood choke, which a Darce can do, which I believe Doc has had the correct angle on it to do it, cutting out that, what happens is you have your peripheral vision, right? And that window slowly starts to close until you pass out. I don't think the window is closed yet because he tapped and then he just sat up like he was fine. Usually when that window is closing, you kind of lay there for a second, you kind of need to regain. Why are you tapping 1 second? Like, I can't tell you how many times, like if I hear, dude, I'm not tapping to anything.
You're like, you just go out. Just go out.
Yeah. I'll go out, wake back up and walk to my corner.
Or give a thumbs up.
That doesn't always work.
Yeah, that doesn't always work. Don't give the thumbs up.
But you know what I mean? Like, how are you going to go out to a Darce show like that? And I guess with the Darce, like if the angle's right too, your ear could be covered and maybe you didn't hear the clapper or whatever, but it's like, could have held on for 1 second. It didn't matter. It would have just happened the next round anyways.
So Dawkins was supposed to fight Julian Marquez. I kind of don't even want to see that fight.
I don't hate it. Marquez is tough and durable, and so I think Dawkins is better, but Marquez brings interesting issues to the table. I'm a fan of Julian Marquez, though. I think he's hilarious.
He is hilarious. Who did he ask? Was it Miley Cyrus that he asked out? Who did he ask out?
To be his Valentine.
Yeah, to be his Valentine.
Last year.
And then we already talked about Hill versus Walker. I'm glad I stuck with my pick on Hill because I was thinking about Walker, but everybody's dogging on Kavanaugh as the coach.
Why?
They're saying he's like the worst coach in MMA history, and it's all over Twitter.
No, the worst coach in MMA history is Edmund, Ronda Rousey's old coach.
Oh, he was bad.
He was the worst. Don't even get me out of here. And dude, how can you say that he's the worst when he's coached guys like Connor and and stuff
They
like
were
that. He's not the
they were
worst.
saying because he coached Connor, if Connor would have been somewhere else, that means he would have been just like freaking the GOAT if he would have been somewhere else.
Wrong. Completely wrong. I actually believe part of Connor's problems is Connor was like bringing in his boxing coach and stuff like that and didn't stick with Kavanaugh.
Yeah, true. So where does Hill go from here? What's next for Hill then? Because he's got to drop. He's got to be. You like Santos better than Ozdemir?
Ozdemir would be a good one. I'd be good.
Ozdemir's been they've been going back and forth on social media because
Hill knocks Ozdemir out.
I think so too.
Sign me up with that fight, and that is an educational piece, but that is a 1.5 to 2 unit play for me. Hill knocks Ozdemir out.
Yeah, I want to say he's Reyes. Reyes would be a good fight too. Yeah, Hill's because he's gonna jump in the top 10 now. He was 12 in that one. Walker was 10. Hill was 12. So Hill will jump up
into the top 10.
Yeah, he'll be in the top 10.
What do you think about Tai Tuivasa moving all the way up to 3?
I think it's freaking awesome. I mean, that's the right move for him, I think. He moved up 8 spots. Wow.
What?
He moved up 8 spots. I didn't realize that.
The move's him and Rosenstruck.
You think so?
Yeah. That's what I want to see. Is Bam Bam and Rosenstruck.
Take Blades and Gain. Francis is going to be out.
Blades is fighting who? Blades is already fighting somebody.
Gain. He should be Blades and Gain. I don't think they've announced
Blades is
it.
Fighting somebody. Like it's announced. It's done. Who's he fighting?
Let me check. I didn't know. The internet. Razor Blades. Let's see if they announced it. Chris Dawkins. Oh, he's fighting Dawkins next.
Yeah.
Why would he fight Dawkins?
Because it's an easy win for him.
I don't know if I like that fight.
Well, too bad. You're not Sean Shelby.
I'm not Sean Shelby, so yeah. It was a fun weekend of fights, man. We got another big weekend this weekend, too.
I don't say this often. I had a fun weekend of bare knuckle boxing. I had a fun weekend with Bellator. And UFC was third on my list for the weekend.
It was great. It was a great weekend of fights.
UFC doesn't lose the weekend that often.
They do not lose the weekend that often. This next weekend's pretty good. You got Bobby Green stepping up on short notice against Makhachev.
What did you think about Michael Bisping saying that Bobby Green has a legit chance? Because his striking is a lot better than Islam's. It is. He's not wrong. Bisping's not wrong. Bobby Green's standing is quite a bit better than Islam's. But the problem is I don't think Bobby Green could stop it from going to the ground.
I was on the hype train. Oh, see, my mic was echoing.
I can't hear it.
I was on the Bobby Green underdog thing, and then I watched his last fight, even though he won, and I'm just like, I don't see it, dog.
You know what they do? The other thing that was really interesting, I've heard that Bobby Green's wrestling is really, really good. He just doesn't use it. And I'm just like that's what we heard with Justin Gaethje too.
Yeah, exactly. That he's perfect. I just there's levels to this game, and I just don't think Bobby Green is on Makhachev's level. No disrespect. I think it's great. I think it's a great story. It's obviously going to get hyped because of what he just did. He's coming off a huge win. Could he catch him? Sure. Am I going to bet it? No.
I might put a quarter of a unit on it. Plus 500? Plus 500?
Maybe it's just a little recency bias of watching it, and I just wasn't that impressed with his stand-up in that last fight. It was good.
What?
It was good. Don't get me wrong, but there was a lot of holes in there, and he was getting touched a lot too. He was getting touched back too.
Not really. He rolled with the punches. His boxing's pretty good. He rolls with the punches well. He doesn't eat clean shots.
But he wasn't in there with Islam. That's
no. That's what I'm saying. His striking is better than Islam's. Islam's grappling is better.
What if he beats Islam this week? Does that
That's
just
what
throw
I'm saying.
a wrench into everything?
Here, talk about that for a sec.
Where does the lightweight division go if Bobby Green, who is not even in the top 15, pulls off the upset? Speaking of that, I saw somebody tweet on this. You know that this fight was offered to probably pretty much everybody in that top 10, and nobody else wanted to take that fight on short notice. Nobody wanted that smoke. But Bobby Green steps up on short notice, just having fought a couple weeks ago, and says, you know what? I'll fight the guy. I'm cheering for him. I really am. I really do think I'm cheering for him. I don't think it's going to happen. But what does that show you for all those guys in that top 5? You don't think Michael Chandler got the call? Darush is obviously out because that's who he was supposed to fight. Dan Hooker's down to 145. Gregor Gillespie. I guarantee you there was people in that top 15 that were offered that fight, and they didn't want it. But Bobby Green takes it.
And it's a catch weight at 160, right?
Yeah, because Bobby didn't want to have to cut weight again. But I was just talking about, that fight was offered to other guys in that top 15, and nobody said yes.
You know who I'm surprised they didn't take it?
Chandler?
Tony Ferguson.
Ferguson would have been a good one. Yeah, why didn't Ferguson take that one?
He's the one that's always calling for it, and he to be fair,
I know
he has said he wants it in the contract that if he beats Islam, that Khabib will come out of retirement to fight.
Yeah, but you got a huge opportunity here because if you beat Islam now, you're in line, right? You're the guy. You beat Islam.
Bobby Green beats Islam. He's probably one fight away from a title fight.
How can you not?
It's probably like him and like Michael Chandler.
Well, aren't they trying to make Chandler and Ferguson?
Yeah.
And then we got Dos Anjos and Fiziev coming up. Whew, that's going to be a good one. That's going to be a damn good fight.
Dude, I feel like everybody's on Fiziev, and I feel like it's one of those ones where it's like Dos Anjos might I can't tell if it's one of those where Dos Anjos reminds everybody like, hey, dude, I'm the problem. Or if it's like, that's like the fight where we're like, oh, and Dos Anjos is done.
Dude, odds on this fight, I'm going to try to see if Best Fight Odds has it up yet. But it's got me thinking to maybe throw in sprinkling a little bit on Dos Anjos. Dude, Fiziev is a 2.5 to 1 favorite. How can you not take Dos Anjos at plus 200? Fiziev,
he hasn't fought in what, a year?
Yeah.
Over a year. His last fight was Paul Felder, who's retired now.
Fiziev has looked good, but his fights he's been in have been competitive. Yeah, they've been close. He's won close decisions.
And hasn't fought anybody on RDA's level. You're
going to give me RDA at plus 200?
I think I got to take it.
It's not official yet, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. I really am.
I like Fiziev, though. I do like him.
And how do you – Jorge Masvidal at plus 290? Dude, he has a shot.
So, okay, I did want to touch on this.
Touch on it.
Has he officially just crossed every line? Did you see his interview? Did you see his interview where he called out Dustin Poirier and said, "Bring your wife," and he said her by name and bring that prop of a child and called.
I did see that. Dude,
that's too far for me.
It's like Mike Perry. If you listen to Mike Perry at the end when Julian Lane came up, he's like, "Dude, you crossed the line. You brought my family into this."
Should have said that. Yeah.
Shouldn't have said that, dog. I'm like, okay. Like they were talking after I think they had a drink together after, but right after the fight, it's like, dude, I don't like to see that.
I think family's off limits. And you know what I don't like about Colby too, with saying that? What I really don't like. Remember Conor talked about Khabib's dad?
Yeah.
I didn't like it, but at least he had to get in the cage with Khabib.
Yeah.
I agree with Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen said it. I think he said it best. You could say whatever you want because you're agreeing to lock yourself in a cage with that man.
Yeah.
And nothing's off limits. And Chael made a career off that. Like Chael crossed a lot of lines. Brought up Tito Ortiz's ex-porn star wife.
That was awesome. Oh, that
you
was
know,
good.
and then he laughs at himself. He goes, "That was a nasty line." You know,
That was
you know, Chael would cross those lines, but he also crossed them with people he knew he was stepping in the cage with.
yeah.
So it's a little of a gray area for me. I don't like families being brought into it. But for Colby to say that with somebody that's not even in his weight class, it's like, I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Not a fan. And you know what?
Dude,
I hate it
Jorge's,
because I think he wins. But I'm going to be cheering for Jorge. I love
Jorge's
Jorge. Like,
Jorge's a lot. He's a live dog. The only thing that worries me about Jorge is the success getting to him a little bit. You know what I mean? Like he's been a big name now for the last year and a half.
He's always going to be a dog. Jorge's always going to be a dog. Doesn't matter. He's always going to be a dog.
I hope you're right.
He's not Connor. Money didn't change him.
What advantages going into that fight are you giving Colby? Gas tank, wrestling.
That's it.
Jorge beats him everywhere else, right? Jorge pieces him up on the feet, right? He doesn't want to stand with Jorge, does he?
No.
I don't think he's going to get Jorge down that easily either. Maybe later, maybe as the fight goes on, but early on, I don't think he's going to be able to get him down.
Here's what's dangerous for Colby. Is he's a volume striker, right?
Yeah.
He touches you with 40 to 60% and just beats you up like that. Right? Yeah. He could just he can do that and just put an insane pace on you. One. Yeah. Two, we know he has a heck of a chin, right? We watched it with Usman.
Oh yeah.
He has a chin. But two, there's going to be a fight where that chin goes because Usman hit him hard a few times.
Yeah.
Jorge's violent.
Very violent.
And I think Colby's easiest path to victory is mentally like breaking it down is making Jorge worry about the takedown early to try and get him to not throw those body kicks.
The kicks. Yep.
Because Jorge's 1-2 and body kicks they're game changers. I mean, he basically killed Nate Diaz with that. So, for a live dog, I mean, here's one thing that's really interesting.
Yeah.
When you train, credit to Chael Sonnen pointing this out. So I'm just reiterating that. This isn't my brilliant. This is Chael.
Yeah.
When you train, they were training partners, right?
Yep.
We all know, or we don't know. We're just outside looking in, wondering how those training sessions went. They know how those training sessions went. They know how the wrestling exchanges went. They know how the striking exchanges went, right?
Yep.
One of them lost more than the other, right?
Yep.
So who lost those rounds and has convinced themselves of why they can beat the other?
We're going to find out.
I believe, and Chael brought this out, and I agree with this. When you wrestle, you can wrestle live and hard.
Mm-hmm.
But when you spar, you are not sparring to knock out your training partner.
True. Very true.
I think Colby thinks that he has a big advantage, and I think Jorge goes, well, yeah, he might have beat me in wrestling.
In sparring,
but when we sparred, it's not like I was ever trying to put his lights out.
Yeah.
I could put his lights out. But I never tried. And if you're Jorge, you're sitting there going, I'm like, wait till I kick it up a couple gears and I'm trying to put your lights out. Then we'll see how you do on the feet. You know what I mean? So that's what I think. I think Jorge probably out-wrestled him, or Colby out-wrestled Jorge, and then it was pretty close on the feet, but Jorge never kicked it into top gear to put him out.
Yeah. There was one thing that I noticed. I just rewatched Usman Covington 2. There was one thing that I noticed about Colby is I think he's playing this little bad guy role. And then when he gets in there, I don't think he's expecting these guys to take him, the things he say as serious as they are. Because I mean, obviously
The Conor effect on Khabib.
He's crossing the line, or just even with Usman, some of this said, because after the fight, he's like, hey man, I'm just saying it to pump up the buys and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, he was almost fighting a little lackadaisical the first 2 rounds of that Usman fight. And then it was like he started to kind of turn it on. It was like he was just kind of like, ha ha ha. Usman would touch him and he'd laugh. And it's like, you shouldn't be laughing right now because you just got jabbed in the face really hard. You know what I mean? It's like almost like it woke him up a little bit. Like he was just kind of like, it was just like a light sparring match almost. It was just weird. I noticed he turned the corner around about halfway through the 3rd round.
But Jorge is cut from the same cloth as Khabib.
Oh yeah. No, 100%.
It's all personal. There's no just building up fights to build up fights. It's all personal.
Yeah, it's personal with him.
And then there is the theory out there, and I've seen it floated around, that Colby and Jorge planned this years ago to fight each other for a giant payday.
You know what's funny? I kind of thought, I don't know if I texted you that or if I was thinking about it the other night. I'm like, what if they're kind of setting this up that they really are just kind of, Colby leaving ATT. Maybe they are. They're main event, right? Are they main event?
Oh, yeah. And this should be for the BMF title.
Why is it not?
Why doesn't Jorge Masvidal have to defend his BMF title? This should 100% be for the BMF title.
So should the Bobby Green fight. Give Bobby Green the BMF belt at that weight class.
He's got to go up and fight Jorge for it. I would watch that fight. Jorge and Bobby Green. That would be a good fight.
Dude, that 272 is freaking stacked. I hope this card stays together like it is. Because it is freaking stacked. Oh, there's some good fights on there. Yeah, I'm real curious to see how this all plays out. Because, yeah, Colby isn't a gangster.
Colby isn't a gangster. But guess what? Jorge Masvidal is. Like, Jorge Masvidal is a legit, from the streets, Cuban in his blood. Like,
yeah.
This isn't a game, dude. You cross lines. No. And it's, dude, it's like Dustin Poirier. Have you seen the rumors around that Dustin Poirier? I've seen the same things, like the rumors that Dustin Poirier isn't really a good guy. He just uses it as a charity, and it's a way to launder money and this and that. And he's just a lot more hood. Well, but look, Dustin Poirier even said, I promise me and Colby will never fight in a UFC octagon.
Yeah.
And he goes, we will fight in a street and we will both end up in jail. And he's dead serious.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's dead serious. I kind of think Covington loses. He may get his walking papers.
No way. He's too big of a star.
You think he's the bigger star on this main event than Jorge is?
No, he's not the A side. Jorge Masvidal's the A side every single time, except if he fought Conor McGregor.
He just doesn't do it for me. I don't know why. Maybe it's
because I love watching Colby fight.
I do too. No, I'm saying fighting wise, I enjoy watching him fight. I just don't like all the. I get what he's trying to do.
It's because he's broken kayfabe a few times, and we know.
And that's true.
We know it's a front. Here's where Colby killed it, right? Like Vince McMahon is the master of this. You never break kayfabe. I mean, freaking The Undertaker would keep his mystique as he was going through the airport.
Oh, did you see him and Brock Lesnar when Brock fought that fight at the thing? When he walked past him after Brock Lesnar won their fight, you want a piece of me? You want a piece of me?
Dude, you never break face. And now we've kind of gotten into this world where WWE's broken face, guys have broken face a little bit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of killed the allure of it for a lot of us that grew up watching it, right?
Yeah.
Colby screwed the pooch big time when he broke face and gave his respect to Usman after that fight. I think it was I think sportsman wise and for the sport, like it was good and that was cool and all. He screwed the pooch.
But that was
he
the
did
one
it
thing
publicly. He did it publicly in front of everybody. He did that calculated. He did that calculated. You want to know why? Because I think he's getting tired of being the bad guy that everybody hates.
But Conor did that too. He would talk all this. He didn't cross the lines that Colby's crossing. Well, he did with Khabib, but always
Conor
gave
was
his
always
respectful after.
Always respectful in defeat or loss.
Yes.
And but what did Conor do? He screwed the pooch because after he broke his leg, he was still the villain, and he wasn't, and he lost a lot of supporters when he did that.
He lost a ton.
That's the thing. That's the key. When you're playing that character, you've got to live or die by it. Because as soon as you let people go, because there's always this mystique: is Colby really that guy? Is he this? Is he that? Like what? Like because for Conor, it was he's being himself. He's just being a louder version of himself, but he's being himself. Yeah. So there was an authenticity feel to it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and whatever. He was trying too hard. When he broke his leg and he said this isn't over, he was just trying too hard.
He was trying too hard, yeah.
Right? With Colby, it was like, dude, everybody like kind of thought, and there was rumors like, yeah, he's not that guy, but he never showed it. When he showed it in the UFC octagon, screwed the pooch.
Well,
Jorge Masvidal, second round knockout.
We will be back on Friday for the breakdown of the UFC fights. And hey, let's get some more fighter spotlight going.
Yeah, March 19th card. We got
March 19th.
We got lots of guys. Maybe we can get Cole Faust.
Let's get Cole back on. Can he punch you in the stomach again? Will he punch you again?
No.
Isaiah Diggs. That's gonna be. Hey, I was watching that. I watched some not highlights. I watched some of Isaiah Diggs' fights on there. It's gonna be a good fight, man. That's a high level amateur. Two of the best guys on the West Coast. In the country. Are they in the country or is it the West? Is it in the country?
Ranked in the West, but in the country.
Same thing. Anyways. Yeah, top 5 guys. It's pretty impressive. It's gonna be a great fight. They're main eventing, right?
Yeah, that's the main event. That's the show.
I saw Nino's on that card against Montel Williams, the happy sign guy.
Dude, that's a good fight.
It's a great fight. Montel Williams is no joke. We were supposed to get him on the podcast one time, and something happened. I think the fights fell through or something that he was supposed to be on.
Mountain Forest, not surprised.
The happy sign guy. He's out. He holds signs out in the traffic, like telling people to smile and stuff. Yeah, I follow him on Instagram. Jordan Marshall's back on that card.
No, he's in May.
Oh yeah, that's right. May. Sorry, May. I don't know why I thought March. Anyways, all right.
We drop a Fridge card here in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, and that one's fire too. Oh man, that one's gonna be good too.
I've outdone myself, if I do say so myself.
That's gonna be a good one. All right, we will see you guys on Friday. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share it away, baby. We out.